Bay Area, it's Joe Shasky. You know you can check out me and Bonte Hill every single morning, 6 to 9 a.m., the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Now we go back to Willard and Dibbs. And Dan Dibley, the Jockberty champion of all time. You hear that, Bonte? Here on 95.7 The Game.
Except for not today. It's Kyle in for Dibbs on a Football Friday here on Willard and Dibbs. And football this weekend means Miami Dolphins, and it means San Francisco 49ers. And I can tell you, as a child of the 80s, as somebody coming up and getting into sports, getting into baseball cards and football cards, man, I was a 49er fan, and then I was a fan of one other thing, and that was the Marx Brothers, Clayton and Duper. Man, I used to be out on my little cul-de-sac growing up, which was perfectly set up like it had sidelines, and I was pretending that I was Mark Clayton and Mark Duper until, of course, you guys ended up playing the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and then I had to give it up, Mark. That was the end of that.
Oh, no, man. You can't be fair weather like that, man. If you're with us, you got to be with us. I don't care if we was playing the 49ers and you live out here. But that's cool, though. I understand.
How you doing, man? It's great to have you. And I hear it now. Are you coming out here, obviously not just for the game. Do you have an event with you and Duper and John Clayton and Eric Wright? Do I have that right?
John Taylor and Eric Wright.
John Taylor. Sorry, John Clayton.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be at the Missions Peak Sports Complex in Fremont on Saturday. Starts at 2, ends at 10. Man, we're gonna have a lot of fun there, man. It got raffles, prizes, man. It's a meet and greet. You know, your legends here. So, man, we're looking forward to that. And right now, I've got a tea time in about 25 minutes. I'm going to play Quarterville out here, and I'm looking forward to that too as well.
Where are you playing?
Playing at Quarterville.
Oh, Quarterville. Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. So it's you and Mark Duper and John Taylor and Eric Wright. How did you link up with those guys? Did that start when you guys met up in the Super Bowl back in '85?
Well, John wasn't on the team then. We're older than John, but Eric was on the team. And I've been friends with those guys for years, even though we played against each other. Man, they're very good friends of mine. It's a guy that lives out here. Is a huge Dolphin fan. He thought this might be a good idea to, put something together. He grew up a Dolphin fan living out here, and he made it happen. So we're excited about the event on Saturday. Looking forward to meeting some of our fans from out here on the West Coast, man, and it should be a lot of fun.
Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. Duper and Clayton or Waddle and Hill, is this giving you any sort of comparisons in your mind, Mark?
Well, everybody else is, I'm seeing what they see to really make them think that they can compare them to us. But we did it for a long time. We did it for 10 years. I understand the excitement that these young kids are bringing them. And if they sustain this and do it for some length of time, then I'll say that they were spot on. But right now, I like what I see, too, as well. Those are some very good players, and the sky's the limit for those guys, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing, what kind of career that they can put together. I know one thing. I know my team record of 1389 yards are going to fall real soon.
Oh, yeah.
Because Hill is right now at 1,100 and something right now, So I'm looking forward to that going down and stuff. I'm very excited for them. But the thing that these guys are doing, they're keeping Duper and I relevant. They're talking about us still after 20-something years later. So that's a good thing also.
So Tua Tagovailoa was it looked like he was on his way out of the league prior to this year. They get a new head coach. They get it. Jalen Waddle starts to figure it out. They bring in Tyreek Hill. And now Tua Tagovailoa is an MVP candidate. Do the wide receivers make the quarterback or vice versa for you?
Oh, neither one. I think that, neither one could do without the other. So I don't think either one makes the other one. So a lot of people want to say that maybe Dan made us, but Dan Marino couldn't have done his thing without us doing our thing. So and we couldn't have done our thing without Dan us being able to get us the ball. So I think it goes hand in hand. But just as long as they get it done, I don't care who makes who. Just get it done. As Al Davis used to say, just win, baby.
Dolphins great Mark Clayton with us here on Willard and Dibbs. Kyle in for Dibbs, 95.7 The Game. Mark, this is another one of those classic matchups that we see through the years of the league where one of the great defenses takes on one of the great offenses. Typically, the defense comes out on top in that scenario. Do you see this as that? Does the 49er defense have an edge on the Dolphins offense?
Well, only time will tell, man. They say that defense wins championships. Offense puts the people in the seat. So something's got to give because the Dolphins' offense is ranked up there in the top 5 in the league, and the 49ers defense is also in the top 5 in the league in defense. So something's got to give, and we're going to see. I'm looking forward to a very exciting game on Sunday, and I'm sure Coach McDaniels is looking forward to coming back here, showing the teacher a thing or two, what he learned from him.
Something that's very near and dear to us out here in San Francisco is Roger Craig, and trying to get Roger Craig into the Hall of Fame where I think he belongs. I believe you also belong in the Hall of Fame, Mark. How do we get you to Canton, man?
I don't know, man, but Roger's a very good friend of mine, too, as well, man. And we came into the league the same year. I think that class of 83, that draft right there was the best draft in NFL history. And I think that Roger rightfully deserves to be at Canton. But, I don't think that there's a barometer that it takes to get into Canton. I think it's a pure crapshoot, and I don't think that that's fair to some of the guys that put their blood, sweat, and tears out there on the field to really do some of the things they did and not get the accolades that they rightfully deserve.
Mark, it's wild when you're talking about your Dolphins record, 1389 in terms of yards back in 1984. It's wild what's happened to wide receiver stats, passing stats in the league since you played. I mean, you guys had a nickname, yet you only had 5 years over 1,000 yards, and a couple of those were barely over 1,000 yards. And I say that knowing that was great back then. But, I mean, here's Tyreek Hill. We're barely past halfway through the year, and he's already coming up on your record of 1,300 yards. He's at 1,233 right now, and a lot of that has to do with the way they've legislated defense to a degree out of the game. How is receiving different now than it was then?
Well, it's very different now because some of the rules that we had in place back then, they are making the calls right now. They are the 5-yard illegal contact. Man, we got held and grabbed all the way down the field, and they never called it. The rules was in place; they just wasn't enforced. That's what I tell people. And also, I tell people that the 1389 that I caught that for that year and stuff. I got those yards on 73 catches. Right now, Tyreek Hill's got. I don't know what
87 catches already. 87
Come on,
catches.
Man. But that's just the nature of the beast. That the game has changed, to make it, more, enticing for offense and scoring for the fans to see. But I tell people all the time, I said, man, if I played with these rules in place right now, I said I was really not intimidated about going over the middle back then when they could knock your head off. I wouldn't even flinch now in this game.
Was there, and I know you say you weren't intimidated, and I wouldn't expect you to be on the football field, but was there a defender that you went up against where when you saw him either line up across from you or you saw him in the middle of the field, you're like, it's going to be a long day. Like, this is just going to be a tougher day than usual?
No, I was very confident in my work ethic that I put in and the practice that I put in. I respected all, but I feared none. And I just knew that any time that we went out there, I respected those guys as being professionals, and I knew it was going to be I was going to have my work cut out for me in any game because those guys were so much bigger than I was anyway. So I had to really be on the top of my game.
Mark, I know you professional athletes are usually just good at everything. What are you expecting to shoot out there on the golf course today?
I don't know, man. I'm not really, I'm about a 12 to 14 handicap.
Okay.
Anything up under 100 will be good for me.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I thought you were going to, put up a 78. What's your best round ever?
My best round is a 79.
Okay. See. So
that.
I mean,
that's light work.
Call yourself a 12 or 14, but you can break 80. I mean, come on, Mark.
But hey, man, this is a course that I've never ever seen before, and it's very challenging out here. I'm at the range right now. I was like, and then I saw some of the holes from the range. I was like, oh man, it's a pretty challenging course out here. But I'm looking forward to the challenges always.
Oh, go have fun, man.
I got Duper right here. He's talking about taking some of my money. I told him he's got to bring some to get some.
I love that you guys are still bouncing
really
around
cool.
together, man. Yeah, are you guys as close off the field as you were on?
No question. We've still been in
Incredible.
contact. Duper lives in Florida. I live in Texas, but we still in contact with each other all the time, every year.
All right, go take his money, man.
All right, man. I just want to tell the fans out there, come and meet some of your 49ers legends and Dolphin legends. We're going to be at the Missions Peak Sports Complex in Fremont on Saturday from 2 to 10. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
Yeah. And this is but gosh, nice job, Mark. This is not like I'm going to show up for an hour from 2 to 10. Look at you.
You're hanging out.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to hanging out with the fans, man. I really enjoy interacting with the fans.
Beautifully. You're good people, Mark. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Appreciate you, Mark.
There he
Take
goes.
care.
Mark Clayton about to go shoot 92 at Coeur d'Alene. Love it.
I would love to just know I'm going to go shoot a 92. That'd be so great.
Oh, my gosh.
That's really cool. I always feel like in my head, when a player leaves a team or a player retires, they just kind of are like, that was my past
They
life.
move on.
I'm moving on from football. Yeah, I'll see those guys at reunions and things, but
Sure.
that's really cool that those two guys are still like homies. Like they hang out. That's cool.